The shows have ended, the conferences have emptied, and our couches have filled back up with our big hairy butts. E3 2019 is over, and now the only questions that remain: who won E3? Will there be another Bubsy? And why is the Fortnite guy in Cyberpunk? But if you don't know already, you're listening to the Sunovageek Podcast.
Balls.
Podcast.
Balls podcast. I'm your host, Spencer, and joining me this fine morning evening are my two glorious co-hosts. One fights like a dairy farmer, and the other just bought a sweet gaming machine, and it's a Mac. It's Tolan's... Wait, you're not Zio. It's Thane!
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, gentlemen. How's it going?
It's going.
I am well.
You
Thane,
are
this is...
so low energy. Pump it up, man. E3 just finished. Gamer Christmas.
Woo! Thane, this is your first time on the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And we're glad that you're to be here.
What?
Don't worry
Nice.
about it. So...
It's okay. Words happen sometimes.
I really enjoyed it last podcast, so I prepared another joke that I found for you guys that I just wanted to share with you. So, be prepared. Try not to laugh too hard, because I don't want you to go into cardiac arrest. This is going to be a good one for you, okay?
Oh, I just can't wait.
My girlfriend told me she was leaving me because I keep pretending to be a transformer.
Oh, that's a good one. You have a girlfriend?
just-
Oh, that was a good one. Oh,
All right.
Spin, you kidder.
All right, I'm going to try this again.
Oh, that wasn't the joke.
No, there's the punchlines after. That wasn't the punchline.
Oh, okay, my bad.
All right, so my girlfriend told... How's about this? How's about this? Thane's girlfriend told him that he was she was... Whatever.
Great job, everyone.
My girlfriend told me she was leaving me because I keep pretending to be a transformer. And I said, no, wait, I can change. Oh, it feels good. I should have just left it with you laughing there. That was really good. I didn't expect that. Curse you, Toad. I'm the only supposed to be the one that gets to insult you guys at the beginning of the podcast.
You know, everyone gets it eventually.
Yep.
That's true.
Can't take it, you shouldn't dish it out.
But it's over. It's done. It feels weird.
It's over. It's done. It seems it's barely begun. E3!
It really felt
there's
like
so
it
much-
should have been going on a little bit longer.
Right?
It seemed short for this year. Or...
I thought they were normally like a whole week. This is like barely a weekend.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. I mean, I don't think it's still going anymore.
They've
The
got
might be
presentation
some,
is
like-
on anyway.
They've got
Yeah.
the tiny little everyone runs around the place thing going on, but the actual conferences are done.
Oh, okay. Because I know it felt weird that Sony wasn't there.
Yeah,
They
they
weren't.
completely dropped out this year.
And I am so pissed. I am so pissed because the Xbox conference, not once did we hear Xbox exclusive.
All right, but at the
Well,
same time,
duh.
they also dropped the ball that there was like no gameplay video at all in the Microsoft conference. Everything was pre-rendered animation.
Yes. But,
Mm-hmm.
but
Just
what
like
sucks-
every mobile game ever. It looks amazing, but how does it play?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the last podcast, we were talking about how it would have been fun to do kind of like a bingo sheet with a bunch of stuff for the for E3, and we had the free space as Xbox exclusive.
Oh,
So
no.
nobody would have been able to finish most of their bingo sheet if we actually put them together.
I can't believe you guys thought it was a gimme.
Well, that is all we heard. I don't know.
That is
I think
like
they
all
were
we
just,
heard last year's Microsoft conference.
and they got so much flack for it. I guess it makes sense for them not to use it, but they should have. It could have been their catchphrase.
Man, you
and
think
it would have
about
been
it.
amazing.
They said not even a few weeks ago, that Microsoft games were going to be on Xbox and PC. So there's no such thing as an exclusive anymore. They're crossing over.
Yeah,
But a
yeah.
lot of their stuff were it's like an Xbox or Microsoft exclusive is what they were saying before. So so if something was going between like the Xbox and PC, they still considered it an exclusive last E3.
You would have said a
think-
Microsoft exclusive.
I think
then.
Microsoft is just being clever. You know, that they spent all of last year's E3 saying Xbox exclusive.
Mhm.
And then here they come this year with, hey guys, we're PC friendly now.
Well, I
No,
mean,
Microsoft isn't being clever. They never know what the heck they're talking about. When they revealed the X-Bone, it was we don't care about games.
nightmare.
All your entertainment comes here. Who cares about games? And the next year, oh wait, no, it's all about games again.
Yeah.
but it was different back then with how people viewed their their entertainment systems
Back
and their television.
then, it was less than 5 years ago.
But I mean, when they started working on it, like when they were developing the Xbox, they had this vision of what they wanted, and at that time there was a huge thing in like the TV market for like all of these different boxes. Like the TV we had upstairs when the Xbox One was first announced, we had like 4 or 5 different boxes underneath it. We had our cable, we had our like television, or what, I don't remember what all they're called. We had like different boxes for like our speakers, and there was just so many different boxes.
So you're saying you're
and
one of those that had the fancy, you had cable, you had on-the-air television, you also had satellite, you had a VCR, you had a DVD player, Blu-ray player, you had all those.
So you're telling me that you have money, because a lot of us don't.
Well, no, it's not that we have that. It's that we don't spend money on anything else, or we didn't before, because that was just the fun stuff to happen. We'd always wait for sales and pick things up when we could. And it was stuff that we'd slowly accumulated over years. Like we had the same speaker system until for probably since I was really, really young. We had the same speaker system for like probably 13 years.
I mean, that's not terrible if you have a great sound system.
Yeah, like my parents would always do their research, and they would buy for longevity. So if something was a little bit more expensive, but they knew it would last several generations of the technology, they'd be like, well, let's go for this then, so we don't have to worry about it.
Good luck doing that these days. Planned obsolescence and everything.
Seriously,
no,
though.
it's a little different now, because things come and go pretty darn quickly.
I swear, it's almost like they have a self-destruct chip in the technology that after it hits a certain date, it just fizzles.
Batteries.
Oh, yes. Well, batteries are different.
Batteries are that self-destruct chip.
Samsung, right?
Yeah.
What was it?
Apple.
Samsung Fire? Hey, fitting name. No, that wasn't what it was. That was something else.
Oh man, there's
It's Kindle
so
Fire.
much.
What was the Samsung phone that blew up all the time?
That was the Note 6.
Was it the Galaxy Note?
Yeah, it was the Galaxy Note series.
Yeah, that was the one that was on the
7 or
plane,
8,
right?
Probably. Yeah, I think pressure plus altitude differences helped the battery to overheat. Yeah. I do say helped the battery to overheat. They also just did a terrible job making that particular phone.
Well, that's okay. It all went up in smoke for them, and now they're in a better place because I love their new phones that they have.
Nice pun.
Thank you. That was an unintentional one. I believe I should receive extra bonus points for that.
Well,
one.
all the best puns are the unintentional ones, because when you do them on purpose, it's obvious.
Oh, but you got to make it obvious. Then it's good. So jumping back over to E3 here.
Never. I prefer to leisurely stroll.
I know Toll's really excited about E3. He watched all the conferences, and he's got a lot of games he's really looking forward to talk about. So Toll, do you want to start this off for us?
Yes,
Cyberpunk.
Did you watch anything from E3?
Yes. I sat in on a couple little live streams. I was just quiet.
Oh, that's right. You did jump into one. I think I didn't get a chance to watch Nintendo Direct yet, or Square Enix.
I didn't either, but I did watch the Nerd Cubed abridged version.
Nice. I watched Donkey's abridged version.
No, I'm looking forward to Cyberpunk and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Obviously.
The remake looks really cool.
It looks phenomenal.
And
especially the gameplay trailers, the actual gameplay trailers of an iconic early boss fight that Spen you have yet to reach in the main game.
Yeah. Oh, I'm playing Final Fantasy VII now, and I haven't finished The Last of Us. So Last of Us is still same progress from many podcasts.
But did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen of the audience? He is playing Final Fantasy VII. Probably because it got ported over to a handheld, but still.
It's because it was on sale for like $15 on the Switch, I believe.
Not bad.
I think so. It was something like that. There's so many places that have, oh man, so many stores have sales right now for E3, and it sucks for my wallet and my feelings, because I feel bad for buying it, and I feel bad for not buying it because it's so cheap. That's okay. I think I So there's like quadruple. What's the one for like 8 times?
Octouple.
I octupled at least by twice my Switch gaming library.
Octupled at least by twice.
Yeah, so if you could octuple it and then octuple it again, then that's the new size.
I mean,
So-
if
my
we're
library
going,
on the
going that
Switch.
far, then just say you doubled,
I'm guessing-
doubled it.
I'm
No,
guessing that means
I
you
like-
had 1 game before and now you have 16.
No, I had 5 games before.
Ooh, wait a minute. Let me run some math here.
And now I have, maybe I didn't octuple it twice, but octuple sounds good. Maybe I just octupled it.
So I actually,
Smiley, can you fact check this for me? Is octuple a real thing? Or am I saying it wrong?
Octuple is a real thing, and if you had 4 to start with, then you now have 256, which I think is more than the current Switch library.
Wait, octuple, that's like
no,
timesing it
'cause
by
I've got a whole
8?
bunch of indie games on
Yeah.
that store.
It's like 4 times 8 is how much?
32?
I thought you said like 100 and something.
You said you octupled it twice.
No, I retracted the second octuple like a little
A
about a minute
likely
or 2
story.
ago. It's Thane, back me up here. Oh, thank
So I actually did watch the Nintendo conference.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I know what they had, and I got to tell you, I'm super excited about the Cadence of Hyrule game.
Yes.
really
I don't
is
have
cool.
it yet, but I watched them play it on GT Live the other day, and I want it.
Yes.
Because I've always loved rhythm games. I am the biggest Zelda fan, as you can tell if you look behind me. You can't see it on the podcast, but these gentlemen can see my
Master
frickin-
Sword.
There you go. It's
Yeah.
actually the Dark Link Master Sword. Take a closer look.
Lighting. I blame lighting.
It's not blue.
Link. What's that on top of it?
Oh, that's just a little squishy egg that my daughter put there.
Oh, that's right. I think you were playing around with that last podcast.
She likes hiding little things in the background of my videos for people to see and comment on.
Oh, that's awesome.
But no one ever comments on them is the thing. So this is my way of saying, hey, if you watch my videos, look for random little things appearing. My daughter would like to know that they were seen.
All right,
So what
I'm
you're
going to have
saying
to
is
start
your
looking for
daughter
those now.
hides Easter eggs in your...
Yes.
Videos.
Oh, it's even better because they're eggs.
Well, this one's an egg. She also has a tiny Enderman that she hides sometimes.
Oh, that's awesome.
You ought to let
Your
Ender
daughter's
know
amazing.
about that one.
It's little. It's adorable. She calls it Ender Cute.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So we're also
So have you
getting
guys-
a new Mario and Sonic at the Olympics game.
I don't understand that.
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't even understand how the first one was a thing. I never ended up actually playing it. I know
Well,
it's
it's just
a
like
Nintendo-produced game, so it's gonna have quality control. It's gonna be good.
It's like
I
Mario
don't
Party
get it.
meets Olympics.
Yeah, it's basically Nintendo cashing in on the Olympics hype by making a Mario Party game with Sonic.
Which is a really good idea.
It is. It plays really well. I haven't-
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo has not made a bad game yet, so it's just...
Argument.
Excuse me.
Nintendo has most definitely made bad games. I'm just
Zio-
saying
look,
that their bad
guys,
games are better than most other people's bad games.
Can I
'Cause
just
they have
ask a
quality
favor?
control.
Mhm.
And can I, just because Zio's not here, can I just say that the Nintendo Wii U was a fun console, and can you guys just, like, not say anything bad about it for, like, 5 seconds?
I legitimately love the Wii U, especially the fact that I can use it as a surrogate remote. For the longest time, I had it programmed for my cable box and my TV, so whenever I couldn't find my remotes, I just had that thing next to my bed, and I was like, okay, let's turn it on.
And you
Zio, are you
really
listening to
couldn't
this?
lose the Wii U tablet. Let's be honest. That thing
Oh,
was
Zio, are you listening to this?
kind of massive.
You guys are amazing.
My
I
favorite
love you
thing is
both.
I'm playing Wind Waker, and all of a sudden it's like, oop, I gotta poop. I can just take what is currently in my hand, press a button, go to the bathroom, and I'm still playing my game.
And you can
your
do that with
bathroom
the
must have
Switch
been
now, too.
Very
Not-
close.
Not necessarily with the Switch.
You just take your remotes and you just go schlink.
Yes,
I had
but
like
there's
one,
an added step here because you have to stand up, take the remotes out of whatever they're in, because most people have them in something, walk over to the console, install them, and then take the console, versus just standing up with what's in your hand.
Nintendo's trying to make America great again. That's what it's doing here. Those 3 extra steps, it's going to go a long way.
Mm.
That's more steps than many people make in a whole week.
Gee, I hope not.
You hope not. I hope not too.
Okay, but the Wii U tablet, I always had a problem with it not taking distance well. Like, if I were even in the next room, it would not want to work.
Well, I don't know what issue you were having with it then, because we would have it set up on the main TV, and then I would just be playing games, and then my dad would be like, Spencer, get rid of the TV. And I'd be like, okay, and then bloop, switch it over, go upstairs, play while I'm lying in bed, and like it was great.
I guess
kind
I
of
just
depends
had
on the
way too much
layout of your
wireless
house.
stuff going on.
But I mean, as much as I would love to keep talking about the Wii U, we should talk about E3.
Well,
Thank you guys, I appreciate that.
The Wii U was the center point of E3 2019.
Yes.
Totally. Every single game Nintendo announced, and Bethesda announced even, they're putting Skyrim on the Wii U.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, Zio, this is what you get for skipping out on a podcast. Although he wasn't really skipping out, he's got a busy schedule.
Yeah.
So we can't really say that. That's okay. Zio, I kind of miss you, but Thane, I'm starting to like you a lot, buddy. So have you guys played Crypt of the Necrodancer before?
No, but I've always thought it looked fascinating.
Okay, I'm one because I think the Cadence of Hyrule is made by the same guys that did Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Well, of course it is. It's titled Cadence of Hyrule featuring Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Oh, does it say feature?
Or maybe it's Crypt of the Necrodancer featuring Cadence of Hyrule. One of them.
Oh, okay.
It's actually on the title screen.
All right, so now we're going to play this game where we're going to try and guess what Thane was agreeing to. I'm going to say he was agreeing to, yes, I would like pancakes. Told, do you have any guesses?
Well, it's around lunchtime, so it's probably something about food.
He said breakfast. He said he was getting breakfast.
Yeah, that was about an hour ago now. No.
Okay, sorry, no, you don't have to go in. I just thought it was funny.
We give each other crap. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, usually we wait till there's moments where Toll has to. It's only happened twice, I think, where he stepped away from the computer, and then me and Zio just started talking crap about him. But then I found out after that sometimes Toll changes his settings so that he can still hear what we're talking about. So
it's not so much that I change my settings as I bring my headphones with me.
Yeah, well, there was the one podcast where you stepped away, so we just started talking smack about you, and then when I was going back and listening to the audio after, you pulled your headphones out, and you heard everything that we were saying.
Nice.
Because I had to cut all that out. It was pretty funny.
Guys, Crypt of the Necrodancer is on sale right now, 80% off, $3.
Yes, I already bought that. What's he buying it on?
It's on Steam.
Oh, I bought it on the Switch. Or no, I already have it on Steam.
Oh, Crypt of the Necromancy. That's the game that they were talking about how they're going to let you port all of your save stuff over.
I don't know about that.
Sure.
I think that's what they were saying in Nintendo Treehouse, that you could go through the entire campaign or 90% of the campaign on Steam, and then just log into the same account or something like that on your Switch, and it moves all of your data over.
That's awesome. So, and does it go back and forth?
They didn't say whether or not it went back and forth. They kind of moved on to the next subject at that point. But it's regardless really cool.
Warframe has done that where you can transfer stuff to the Switch, but you can't transfer back.
Switch. Wow, sales right now are awesome.
Yeah, sales are everywhere. It's so. I haven't even turned on my Xbox or my PlayStation because this is some more games.
I'm glad you guys brought that up because I think I want to get it over there instead of on Steam because I can take the Switch with me places.
Yeah, and then we can play it.
Yeah.
So, did you guys hear Doom Eternal's not going to have a campaign? Or no, it's not going to have multiplayer. It's it's going to have multiplayer, but it's going to be a game mode where it's like the Doom Slayer, I think that's what they call him. It's going to be him against the creatures, whatever, but two players get to control the creatures and try to fight and kill him. Because I guess in the original Doom that came out, or when they made the remake Doom, the deathmatch mode wasn't well received. So they've just kind of said all right, we're not going to do the deathmatch thing, which I guess it kind of makes sense because have you guys played Doom?
Yeah,
I played Doom once many moons ago.
I played the original Doom, Doom 2, Doom 3, actually beat Doom 1, played the remake of Doom, loved the hell out of it, played Doom VFR and nearly shat myself.
Oh, so you played the remake of Doom that came out a little while ago?
Yes.
Like okay, because that one had like this campaign, or no, it had some sort of deathmatch mode, but it didn't have the same kind of power and feeling that the campaign had, which it was incredible. Like they did a really, really good job of just making the game feel awesome and fun. But the deathmatch mode didn't have that, so they just said, all right, we're not putting it in Doom Eternal.
I'm okay with that.
So
I honestly think cramming multiplayer into games that were never designed for it in the first place is...
Excuse me. No
idea what you just covered up with that cough there. You did it a little bit too well there, Thane. I'm going to say it's a terrible idea.
I don't know if maybe he was just coughing, because it looked like he was preparing for like a sneeze.
Nah, look at that smarty grin.
Excuse me.
Okay. So I'm kind of excited for that. I don't know if I'm going to get Doom Eternal right away, but it seems like it's going to be not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
It's like saying you're kind of enjoying Final Fantasy.
Well, I'm kind of, so far I'm enjoying it. I haven't had anything that's made me go, this sucks yet. Well, I'm going to tell Zio that though.
Well,
so
you
Zio,
are definitely at the worst part of the game in terms of presentation, story, and gameplay.
Oh, okay. So I forgot to do this. But you guys are going to look, I gotta remember to do this because I was sent a screenshot to use for the podcast, which is what everybody's looking at right now, and it wasn't from Mr. Toll.
Wow! Someone other than me! Hooray!
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up Discord here, because off the top of my head, I don't remember who sent it to me. I'm trying to figure out who it was, and now I feel like a total jerk. But there was one that was sent to me. It was in general chat, someone was talking about it, and then I said, hey, PM me, and then they did, but then they didn't actually, I don't think I physically have the screenshot yet. Okay, maybe I don't have a screenshot yet from somebody. I might be just lying to you all right now, and this could just be Tolls. But
no, I saw the guy that you were talking about. I don't remember who it was either.
I want to say, oh, it was Deadpan from the Discord. He said, where would I submit screenshots for the podcast? I said directly to moi, and he put, okay, cool. So, Deadpan, where's the screenshot? Where's the screenshot, Deadpan?
Spen, if you go to the direct message history with you guys, and then you go up at the top, there's a search button. You can put has file.
I've only ever had a direct message with him, and those are the only 3 things that we've directly messaged with each other. That is above the where would I submit the screenshots for the podcast, it says beginning of your direct message history.
Well, then I guess we don't have this screenshot after all, do we?
All right, well, I'm going to message him right now. So Deadpan's going to have like a timing cue of when we recorded this podcast, but that's okay.
It'll be there whenever it goes up. Otherwise, we're going to end up cutting this sequence. Or probably not, because Spen's
probably
lazy.
Not. No, I mean, I listened through everything.
I'm kidding.
I try to edit it as little as humanly possible. So
yeah, there's a nice dynamic conversational flow that Thane is completely missing out on.
Yeah.
I'm not missing out on anything.
Well, you're not participating in it.
Well, excuse me.
Hey,
no
here's
excuse
an
for
idea.
You.
I was going to bring this up because Zio's on the podcast usually, and he was the one that brought it up. I think it was last podcast, and then the podcast before that didn't end up being a podcast because he botched the recording, and I just like bringing that up because it's funny.
Thanks, Zio.
Yeah, thanks, Zio.
Guys, he can't defend himself. What are you doing? Shut up!
He was talking about wanting to do a video aspect of the podcast, and I'm still against the idea because it makes more effort. But I thought maybe what we could do is that we could record a video version of it, and then just like it's 100% unedited, minus like some little things that we might like be required to edit out of it. But we could just throw it up on Patreon. And anybody who's a Patreon supporter can then just, if they're really interested in it, they can see like the
Son of a Geek
unabridged.
Yeah, and it's like it'd be an awesome way to say, hey, thanks to all of our awesome Patreon
Son
guys.
Son of a Geek raw.
There we go. Yep.
And then it also means that I feel comfortable throwing it up on Patreon without going through and editing things, and I don't feel like I have to purdy myself up for the video then.
People are paying to see you, and you don't feel the need to make yourself look better,
right?
I mean, I'll like
you are
put
the
a hat
worst
on.
kind of whore.
I'll put a hat on, and I'll just like turn my lighting on. But I think we should do that. We'll leave the final. Zio, if you're listening to the podcast right now, post in the comments down below. Let us know what you think.
Because, he doesn't have a better way of getting a hold of you, Spin.
Or, Zio, you can tweet at us directly.
So then I receive it and relate it to you.
Yeah. But Zio, if neither of those are to your liking, we do have a link to our Discord channel that you could find down in the description below. You could use that.
And you could also probably try talking to him directly through the Toes Club email, because I have no evidence that exists either.
Toll, I never actually made that email address.
Yeah, so there you go, another communication channel.
Yep, it's perfect. These are totally valid methods of communication that are absolutely better than any other existing.
By the way, today's secret word is toes, and if you say it in the comments, then Thane will give you $5.
That's not how it works.
I'm delegating.
No, you know what? Everybody understands how it probably works, so I don't even have to correct it. But...
Yeah, everyone knows that Toll will give everyone $10.
No. First off, it's 5, and second, no.
Oh, right. Sorry. 500.
Thane.
So jumping back over to E3 thing there's a game I'm really excited to talk about that I never thought I would be excited to talk about or even see coming.
Animal Crossing?
Well, no, Animal Crossing's been it's been delayed.
Well,
and
yeah,
when it was delayed,
still, that seemed like something that it would fit that comment, let's say.
Do you know what happened when it got delayed? When the information happened for that? Nintendo stocks dropped.
Oh, really?
I think it was by like 3%.
Wow.
Like it was just like, what? Animal Crossing's been delayed? I'm out. Nintendo's collapsing. It's gonna fall apart.
That explains why No Man's Sky went ahead with the Sony mandated release date instead of pushing back again.
It's very possible.
It is possible, but then again, they didn't really have any stock at that point in time anyway, and the backlash was still terrible. You know what? I'm not going to say anything positive or negative about it, because if nothing happened the way that it happened, we wouldn't have the game that we have today. It's true. A great game.
That's true.
It's very true.
Also, if you guys can hear a weird sound in the background right now while I'm talking, it's because the neighbor has started weed whacking again.
Yeah, we know what you're really doing. Weed whacking. Is that what you call it these days?
Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
So going back to the game I was excited to talk about that I didn't know I'd be excited to talk about is do you guys see the Avengers game?
Yes, that
I heard of it. I didn't look into it.
I'm on the fence about it because the animation style they're going for,
it's weird.
It's kind of bricky,
that's
isn't
putting it lightly.
But it's also which Avengers game are you talking about?
The
Ultimate Alliance 2?
The one that's been the talk of E3 this year?
Isn't that Ultimate Alliance 2, or am I mistaken?
Pretty sure there's only one Avengers game coming out this year.
Well, I'm talking about the one where you actually get to play as the Avenger in like third person or whatever it is.
And
I thought that was Avengers.
All right, fine. I'll open Google.
So it's got some interesting things going on with it. The first thing is,
no, it's just Marvel's Avengers.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was just something simple for the name, at least so far.
Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and published by Square Enix. I know all of those developers, and I like them all.
And
the
I like
the art style does look
but
weirdly blocky. Is the best word I got.
They're doing such a weird job with the animation style,
and they're not the Avengers that we all recognize them to be.
Yeah,
well, of course, that's because it's a different branch of the. It's not the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's its own self-contained thing.
But I mean, the last several Avengers games or things that have come out with Avengers in them, they've looked like the Avengers from the movies.
That's true. But if you recall, in Endgame, they kind of brought the storyline of the movies to a close and introduced everyone to the concept of the Avengers multiverse, the Marvel multiverse. So,
but everybody in the multiverse that we saw was still the same.
And on that note, if you want to ride the Avengers hype, which I know is what they're trying to do here, they're going to seriously fall flat because it's different from the CU.
I think so too.
Or it'll do very well because the concept of the parallel realities or whatever has been injected into everyone's minds at this point, so they can go into that with the acceptance that this must be one of those alternate realities where things didn't happen quite the same way.
But that's counting on the audience actually recognizing that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people who are smart enough to get the alternate realities thing in the first place, because let's face it, it is a tricky concept, will probably understand that, and people who don't get it are probably going to like it anyway because it's the frickin' Avengers.
We will see.
Who knows? It's hard to say.
We will see. Only time will tell. But I'm excited about it. I want to see it.
Well, the tough part is when you look at it, all of the faces of the Avengers, they look familiar, but I can't place why.
They look familiar yet wrong.
Like the I don't remember. I'm not a very huge comic book fan, so I don't remember the names of all the Black Widow. Is that her name?
Yeah. Played by
She
Scarlett
kind of-
Johansson in the movie.
So, but in Marvel's Avengers, the A-Day trailer, she kind of looks like the girl that played, I think it was Robin in How I Met Your Mother.
Which is funny because the person who played Robin in How I Met Your Mother was in the Avengers movies as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes. And then if you look at the guy that plays Bruce Banner, he kind of looks like the dad from, oh God, what was that TV show from a long time ago? Full House. He kind of looks like the dad from Full House.
You know, now that you mention it, I'd never thought about that before, but yeah.
These are some out there comparisons you're coming up with, Sven.
But I can't place Captain America, but I know I've seen his face somewhere too.
Oh God. Let me take a look at this.
So while Tola's looking that up,
if you just go, sorry, Thane, straight to the link that Thane sent you before, Tol, and you just scroll down to where it shows the Avengers Endgame confirmed, it'll show you a screenshot or like a thing of the thumbnail for the video. And I say I would consider myself pretty bang on for those two.
Yeah, no, I agree. This guy does look familiar, though.
That is part of what's throwing all of it off for me. And
oh my God, they made Iron Man they made Tony Stark look like a Guido.
Yeah, that really.
And I apologize if that term offends people, but that's what came to mind.
You know, I don't know. I'll look up what that is later. And I might cut it out of the podcast.
I don't actually know if it's an offensive term, to be perfectly honest. I've heard people throw it around casually and no one get offended. I know that it's regarding Hispanics, and I've heard it thrown around Hispanics, and then they don't get offended. But
we'll move on past it just in case. Just in case.
So another hot take of E3 this year.
Yes.
Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield.
Pokemon game. Yes.
Oh, yes.
They are not including the full national decks. And anyone who's been on the Pokemon subreddit over the last 72 hours has been inundated with complaints.
Inundated?
I'm probably not saying that correctly.
Inundated. There's two N's in there.
Okay.
Well, not every Pokemon game has had all of the Pokemon in them before.
No, but
I guess
they're
it's
all
never
transferable.
But it's never done it to this degree where it's just like picking and choosing from different generations.
Like
it's like an entire region is gone.
Yeah.
But I mean, it kind of, I'm okay with the way they're doing this because it's like if I go to the United States, there's going to be some animals that I'll see in Canada that I'll find in the United States, but there's others that I'll find in the United States that I wouldn't see in Canada. So it's like a different region doesn't mean every native species is different.
I don't think you're considering this the right way. You're right on that point, but that's not what it's about. It's about coming from Canada with an animal that you cannot have in that area.
So you can't actually have it?
No,
let's say you have a dog that you caught in Canada. Let's say you adopted a dog in Canada and you try to move to the US and you can't take that dog with you. You can get a dog from here, but you can't take that one.
Yeah, Customs is just saying no, you can't come in with that dog.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. Like,
wow.
For example, Finnegan is a fox Pokemon, Eevee's a fox Pokemon. You can have one but not the other because that's from a different region. But it's only that specific region.
Yep.
It's like
Arstotzka
closed the borders. Papers, please. No, you're not allowed.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure this new region in Sword and Shield has just about, if not every, current biome to the Pokemon universe. Ice, fire, plains, It's all there.
Now, realistically, with everything rendered in 3D and full models and animation stuff, it could be that that region was cut out to save on space on the cartridge. But as a design choice, given that literally every other Pokemon game in the franchise lets you transfer all the way back from the first generation up to there, just not in reverse, that's a terrible decision from a fan perspective. It's so alienating.
That is really weird. Because there's certain Pokemon that are my favorite, and I would want to do anything I could to have them eventually in my party in the new game. But if I couldn't, that would
be quite frustrating,
really
wouldn't it?
And so they've 100% confirmed that.
Yeah.
That the game will not allow you to have certain Pokemon in it.
Their wording has been, you can transfer every Pokemon that's currently in the Let's Go games.
Unable to transfer any older creatures that are unavailable in the Galar region dex. Is Galar the region in the new game?
So that's the wording, though, is you can't transfer other like older Pokemon that aren't in the Galar region dex.
Right.
So their wording is still tricky enough that who really knows exactly what's going to go with it.
It seems like the Pokemon in Sun and Moon didn't have a national dex, so that's why the decision came about. So apparently you could transfer out of Sun and Moon into other games, which do have the national dex, but those games didn't. So since this is integrating the national dex, it would have everything that's normally a part of that. So it kind of makes sense that they don't have it, but at the same time, it still seems like a really poor decision to me.
Especially since this is a main title Pokemon game on Nintendo's newest platform. The very platform that I'm pretty sure Nintendo is at least implying they intend to use for another 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. That is weird.
Although,
but I mean,
I say all these complaints, and I'm still of the opinion that I want a mega Pokemon game where you can go through every single region one after another in a single game. That is my dream Pokemon game. So
that would be too much.
I'm always going to be slanted towards that point of view.
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense. I do have to say, I am happy that there's not going to be Mega Evolutions and there's not going to be Z moves. I was okay with Mega Evolutions, but at the same time, I was just kind of like, it's not really interesting me. But Z moves was something where I was just like, I don't know. I guess, because which game did Z moves come in on? That was the newest one, Sun and Moon?
Yes, Sun and Moon. And it saved
Sun
my
and Moon
bacon.
I never finished. I just kind of fell off of it.
Played it, but it is the only one my daughter has.
So I don't know. I'm okay without those being in it. But it's gonna, I don't know, I think it's still, with the way they have that worded, I think it's too early to really tell exactly what's going on with it. The wording could be in there where maybe there's just the specific game where you can't bring stuff in from that game because it's not in some special decks or what it is. I don't know.
If they're smart, they're going to have some clever means of saying that, oh, well, it turns out that the Galar region Pokédex is actually just a renaming of the national dex, and every Pokemon's actually here.
Then why would they put in what they want? They did
That's
right
just
now.
them.
The same reason
back.
Same reason the producers of the Sonic movie made that terrible trailer. The fans revolted, and then a week later they said, "Hey, we're changing it."
Yes.
Well, it's a little different. Where they literally said we're changing it.
But this is Game Freak
who's to say
saying
that these
they're
guys
changing.
won't change it?
Yeah. This is Game Freak saying, everyone's hating this. I know. Galar region is the national dex. Yeah.
So
but
Thane's
how many
speculating here is the bottom line. This is all just a theory that it could happen. We'd like to see it happen.
How many times, though? But how many times does Nintendo come up with an idea for something and then people have gone like, this is garbage, and Nintendo's like, oh, too bad.
I'm going to say...
we're going to do it anyways, and they're either going to learn to love it or they're going to get something different.
Very few that come to mind.
Really?
I honestly can't think of any.
Because there's Nintendo usually sticks with its guns when it feels it's got something that it likes or it doesn't want to change something.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine, but I've never seen them stick to their guns amidst public outcry. they've come up with decisions that people are like, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then they're like, well, trust us. But this is the first one where it's been like, okay, that thing that you know and love and you've been collecting for 10 years? Yeah, we're doing something with it that you're not going to like. And then everyone's up in arms like, this is terrible. Why are you doing this? This is the first time I've heard of that happening with Nintendo.
The closest we've gotten to that is Pokemon Go. Because when that first came out, there was no battle or trade system. It was just extremely limited, and everyone hated that.
And look at it now. You can battle, you can trade, you can
2 years down the road.
No, that's fair. I'll give you that. I guess there hasn't really been anything as extreme right now, at least that I can think of off the top of my head, to the degree of this right now, with potentially limiting the which Pokemon can go into the game.
I mean, to be fair, there's like 800 of them, and most people start with 6 and just catch the rest, so who cares? In my personal opinion, everyone else has their opinion, and you're welcome to it. You can roast me in the comments, whatever.
I think most people just really want to see their favorite Pokemon, regardless of which gen that's from, in the full 3D animated models.
Right, and actually there's a meme that I just saw here that has another perspective of it. Someone who's been playing the game, the same version of the game, probably with the Galar region, saying, I can't wait to see all of my Pokemon I've been collecting for 10 years and working on for 10 years in this new game.
So what Thane's saying is he doesn't want this new Pokemon game to be gen biased. He wants it to be gen fluid.
I mean, yes, using that very dramatic terminology. Sure.
I wouldn't say that's dramatic, but it is an awesome choice of meme.
Thank you. So, if you guys... I think by the sounds of it, Toll, you already mentioned at the beginning of the podcast what you're most excited about from E3. Because you mentioned the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and what was the other one?
Cyberpunk.
And Cyberpunk. Thane, do you have any major... oh man, if we record video for the podcast, I can't just scratch my armpit whenever I want.
Yeah, you can. Sure you can. No one's going to judge you. Not any harsher than we do. You big hairy ape.
So, Thane, do you have any favorite games that you've seen come from E3?
If I had to choose a favorite...
You do?
Let's say 2. Let's say you can only choose 2.
I can choose 2, though. Okay, Luigi's Mansion and Sword and Shield.
Okay. Luigi's Mansion, I'm with you on that one. I finally got around to playing the first one not that long ago, and it was really good.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and the features that they're incorporating in it, like the Mega Co-op, is going to be a blast.
Whoa. Mega Co-op?
I think it's like 4 players can all play to clear out levels.
Are you serious?
4-player co-op Mega?
No, that's my wording. That is my wording.
Okay.
It's just co-op traditionally in my mind is 2 players, and they're doing 4 players. But yeah, Luigi can spawn a ghost Goo Luigi. That's the term. And it can be
we've seen a little bit of that.
Luigi's.
That brings up the one thing that I am really not looking forward to about Luigi's Mansion is when Rule 34 gets its hands on Gooigi.
No.
It's gonna happen. It's already happening. I guarantee
it's on the internet, so it's already happened.
Tomorrow you're gonna find Gooigi, and you're not even gonna be looking for it.
All right. I'm going to look it up right now and so I can confirm that it's already there.
He's going to find it. You're going to find what you don't want to see. I guarantee it.
What is it, Rule 43?
34.
Are you serious?
Spin is the least nerd I've ever heard.
34, that's what it is?
For the 3rd time, yeah.
Yep, there it is. Woo! Okay.
All right, now that you've done that, you can check out the link that I just put in chat to save your poor eyes.
Oh, mind bleach.
What did you do? I can't even find the chat.
Reddit.com.
Reddit.com.
I bleach.
I'm really excited for the new powers and the things that they're putting in for Luigi's Mansion, the 3rd one.
It's going to be
I didn't know about the co-op. The co-op is going to be even cooler now. Mm-hmm. I never expected to see co-op in Luigi's Mansion.
I didn't either. When I never
expected to see people excited about Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion was it was a surprise hit when it came out. I think Luigi's Mansion started out as a cult classic. I don't know if it ever moved past a cult classic, but it was if it was a cult classic, it was a massive cult classic.
I always heard kind of underwhelming things about it when it first came out, honestly, and that's why it took me so long to play it. I finally got it on an emulator 6 months ago, and it was, well, pretty phenomenal.
Toll's uses of emulators do not reflect the thoughts and opinions of Geeks Active.
I own the game. It's a legitimate copy on the ROM. It's just my GameCube stopped working.
Yes, let's be clear. You can emulate games that you own.
Oh, can you?
Yes. If you have a ROM dumper, for example, like an actual Game Boy cartridge ROM dumper, you can dump the ROM on your computer and legally run it.
It's the same thing about having backup copies of DVDs that you own.
Hated when players were distributing the ROM files. They don't care that Visual Boy Advance exists. They care that people are freely distributing Pokemon Silver.
Cool. That makes a lot more sense then.
Awkward silence.
But yes, Luigi's Mansion is a fantastic idea, and I think that's why it's so popular. Because it's new. So it's a new idea. And this new Luigi's Mansion is a new take on that idea.
It's not a new idea anymore. It's like a decade old at least.
Well, yes, but it was a new idea when it came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So was Splatoon, and we all saw how that went.
Splatoon had a rocky start, and the main issues happened with the kind of like the online aspects of like the voice communications, and some of like the competitive things didn't really work out so well for it. But it took a little bit, but it gained a strong following. In Splatoon 2, it was a hit.
Yeah, like I said, we all saw what happened with Splatoon.
And I think Splatoon also was like one of the first games to be with the paid Nintendo Switch online experience.
Mm-hmm.
So there was drama combined with that whole thing.
Well, I think it came out before the Nintendo Pay thing happened, and then it switched over to it after once Nintendo went out of its beta phase for it, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Because I think everybody had access to the free online stuff at first, and then when Nintendo was like, well, we think it's good enough now, here's your $10 fee.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, I've honestly never played Splatoon, so it was.
And what about that new Halo game that they teased? That they didn't show any gameplay for.
Did they really tease it then?
Yeah, exactly. We have a name. We have as much information, I think, about the new Halo game as we did last year about Bethesda's Elder Scrolls 6.
Yes. Except they tried to really hit us on the feels part at the beginning of the trailer there.
Well, yeah.
At the end of it.
Halo story thing.
I mean, it was a good short film, but it doesn't really tell you anything.
I'm talking about when he looked down at his little empty chip.
Yeah.
And you saw it and heard it in the audience of everybody was like, oh.
Not gonna lie.
I haven't played since the end of Halo 3, so I'm not even sure what that's about. I'm guessing that was Cortana's housing at one point.
Not gonna lie. Yeah. Cortana went.
Spoiler alert.
Yes. So for those who have not played Halo 4, spoiler alert. Cortana went a bit nuts, we'll say, especially because I don't know the actual terminology used, but AIs are supposed to only last for like 3 years, and then they're supposed to be recycled or something. And so half of Halo 4's storyline was Cortana slipping into AI madness.
Yes.
And I think it may have ended the game with Cortana being refreshed, but I can't quite remember.
I don't remember, but it was. I haven't played through all of it yet, but there was a huge beginning of Halo 4 where you started to see the slippings of the madness and them talking about the AI and its lifespan, and it was as much as I made a joke back there about people responding like to her not being there. It's tough to imagine Halo without Cortana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's she's not just a sidekick. She's just always there and always has been.
Yeah. I mean, she helped make Halo what it is. There's no getting around that.
It'll be interesting to see what happens.
I think the game will be awfully lonely if we don't have Cortana. I legitimately remember feeling lonely in those moments where you didn't have Cortana in the older games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't touched it since the end of 3, so I have no idea what you guys are even talking about. I haven't even had an Xbox since Halo 3.
Oh, wow. That's a long time ago. So, for me, I've got 2 favorite games.
Let's hear
that
them.
I'm really excited for. First, Evil Genius 2.
I must have missed that one.
Diggity dog. It is going to be fantastic. Rebellion made a fantastic game called Evil Genius. It was this super sweet... Basically, you are an evil mastermind.
Yes.
Hell-bent on taking over the world. It's a top-down kind of like base management game where you are an evil genius that builds up his base, hires minions, but it's got a comedy aspect to it because your base starts out on an island in a mountain where you kind of like hollow out different sections in like a grid-based format to build up different layers and rooms with henchmen and minions, and each room can have different tasks. And while this is all going on, you've got the governments from around the world that are sending different units. They kind of like pop up onto the map and they start wandering around, taking pictures, trying to find their way into your base. And you can capture them and you can interrogate them. But when you interrogate them, you can interrogate them by putting them into a giant blender that spins them around really fast. You have one where this guard comes up and he puts him on front of a chair and dances in front of him and spins him around and just tries to disorient him and does like the Michael Jackson moonwalk, and it just like makes the CIA agents just go wild and crazy and give away their secrets. And
it's Dungeon Keeper.
Kind of.
No, I'm looking at it on Steam right now. It's Dungeon Keeper.
It's kind of. It's. I would consider them the same genre.
Let me rephrase. It's very similar to Dungeon Keeper. From what I can see, from what's presented to me, and from what you're saying.
The base mechanics of the game, yes. It looks very similar in the sense of how like you build the base and everything, but I would consider them 2 very different games.
Well, yeah, that'd be like saying that Call of Duty is Halo. It's not.
Ooh, that's going to get some drama.
It's similar to Halo.
Okay, when you use that explanation, I will allow it.
I'm getting kind of a tower defense / Fallout Shelter vibes from it.
Nah, more real-time strategy tower defense.
Sure. I would like to recommend Evil Genius because you can get it on Steam and it's pretty cheap, but the game is broken and it doesn't work.
$10 without being on sales. That's not bad.
It doesn't work properly on modern computers. It's a very old game.
So it doesn't work properly on modern computers the same way you have to seriously patch Fallout 3 to get it to run on modern computers.
Yes. But in it, like, there's people that have put together different patches and mods and stuff you can download to make Evil Genius work, but I have yet to finish the game.
I don't know. In the reviews down here, I'm not saying anything about it not working. It seems like it's fully functional if you get it through Steam.
For the most part, but it still has game-breaking bugs in it, where you'll just get to a certain point in the game where it just crashes and you can't get past it, no matter how many times you load back into it.
But then on another playthrough, you might get past it perfectly fine. Who's to say? It's that kind of thing.
Well, I had an unfortunate luck where I played through it 4 different times, and every time the game-breaking crash bug happened earlier on.
Did you try reinstalling it?
I tried reinstalling it every time. I tried installing the packs that were supposed to correct the issues, and I had no luck with it, which sucks because it's one of my favorite like management simulation games ever.
Well, you know what they say. Sucks to be you, nerd.
Pretty much. But Evil Genius 2 is going to be sweet. They teased making it for a very long time, and then we got this mobile version of it, which was it was Evil Genius but turned into a mobile game where things were locked behind time and a bunch of stuff, and it wasn't so much fun. But Evil Genius 2 is going to be sweet. But more importantly, guys, The sequel to Breath of the Wilds.
There's no S anywhere in Breath of the Wild.
It doesn't. I can call it whatever I want.
And you'll be wrong.
Yes.
That's okay.
But
so there's a sequel for it.
Yeah. Super excited. Why did I not remember that? Why didn't I say that?
I have a hot take.
I am more hyped for that than Cyberpunk.
Wild.
Sorry, what was that Toll? Or sorry, Thane?
I have a hot take when it comes to Breath of the Wild.
I thought you said a hot date with Breath of the Wild.
Because I have a hot date with Breath of the Wilds every week.
I cannot.
I have a hot date with Breath of the Wild this evening.
Ooh.
I cannot.
We're just going to keep talking every time Thane says to talk.
Thank you, Spin.
Master mode.
I cannot get past the cell shading.
You can't?
I cannot.
You can't.
I cannot.
You're under the same kind of boat as Zio then.
You don't like it?
I can't get into it. It puts me off too much.
I love it. I love that art style.
Well, I can say that there are what I have seen there are ways to take the game and modify it to remove the cell shading, and it looks phenomenal that way. But I think it would completely change it would change too much of the way the game feels for me to play it like that, I think.
And that's fair. And I still think it's a splendid game. Absolutely marvelous. It just puts me off too much because they used that kind of art style.
I think they used it really well. The execution was phenomenal. It feels like playing an anime, kind of.
See, I was a huge fan of the Wind Waker toon shading or cell shading, whatever you want to call it. I really enjoyed that, and I found Breath of the Wilds was kind of a combination of that, but mixed with more Breath of the Wild. I see you both smiling. It was a combination.
You didn't put an S in Wind Waker.
Well, no, because you can't. There's one wind. You can't.
And there's
not
one wild.
Breath of the Wild.
No, you can have multiple breaths, but you can only have one wind.
Yeah, but you didn't say breaths of the wilds. You said Breath of the Wilds. There's only one wild. The whole thing is the wild.
Well, it's got to be Breath of the Wilds, because if it's Breaths of the Wild, then it just sounds sleazy.
Well, there's no plural in any case.
Breath of the Wilds either.
It's not wilds. There is one wild.
You can have multiple wilds.
Is the wild.
No, these are our rooms that we're recording in right now. And it's not one wild, it's 3 wilds.
I don't know about you, my room is relatively tame.
It's what I've called it from the beginning, and I think it sounds fine.
And you have been wrong for so long.
Not once have I said that. Well, I said once.
Actually, no. Now you can be right, because there are 2. So now
there's still only one.
No. There's Breath of the Wild, and there's Breath of the Wild 2.
Breath of the Wild.
These are the Breath of the Wilds.
Yes. All right, thanks, Toll.
No.
I'm really excited for it.
That's my headcanon, and it's going to help me not go crazy whenever Spin is wrong.
That's fair. That's fair.
I was really hoping that it was going to be more DLC. I wanted more seasons of stuff added on to the original game.
I still haven't finished it.
Was there room lore-wise to have DLC in Breath of the Wild?
There has been DLC in Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
They've added all kinds of equipment and packs and even additional missions after the main campaign.
Those additional stuff, the additional stuff doesn't actually take place if you were to follow everything chronologically. It technically, Nintendo's like, there's no order, but it falls before Thane.
Nintendo saying there's no canon order to Zelda is just
I'm talking about this, like Breath of the Wild.
Okay, I'll give you that.
It's completing the events in the game, but the DLC does take place before finishing off Ganon.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
but at
does
the same
it open
time,
up after you get all of the sages gathered up or whatever? Spirits?
So the DLC can be accessed as soon as you've gotten the memories and you've finished the 3, or no, I think one of the DLC isn't even the memories. I think it's just once you've completed the 4 beasts, then you can start accessing the DLC. Because it's a continuation off of after those events have happened. And then the very end of the game, I was so mad when there was no DLC that continued after the game was finished, because the ending of the game, it was basically, they said there's gonna be more, and then we never had any. But now
there is gonna be more, and I guess it just got big enough that it's gonna be its own title.
That probably is what happened.
But then what happens with all the powers and stuff that we got in the first one? Are they going to do another memory wipe and we lose all of the stuff that we've already gathered?
I would say there's a chance that you can carry over your save files.
I mean, they did that with Fallout 1 and 2.
Yeah, but we've never had a direct sequel Legend of Zelda game.
Well, no.
We have, actually, Majora's Mask. And for that, they gave a reason for his kit starting over.
Kind of. But like, it's never been like a this game too, like that kind of direct sequel.
Yeah,
where it follows, you're going with the same characters, where everything they've learned and gathered in the first game kind of maybe carries over.
Actually, Seasons and Ages on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
because those ones color. they were Game Boy Color, whichever. They were separate, isolated stories. But as you got through them, once you finished one, you got given a code that you could enter into the other one, and you got special items. And if you played through both of them and managed to finish both of them fully through to the end, that's when you got the finale of the 2 stories. So each story you could play through, and you got closure for that story. But if you played through both of them and connected them with that code, you got closure for both at the end of the second one.
Interesting. Yep. I thought they both were just kind of like alternate timelines, where they were just like the same events but told from a different story with a different item.
Nah, they're completely different lands, completely different everything.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
One runs through time in terms of decades, and the other runs through time in terms of months.
Yeah.
And even then, all that's doing is cycling the seasons. It's not even changing time.
I think you cycled seasons as quickly as just moving between one map frame and another.
Nah, you swing a wand. Summer, fall, winter, spring.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. I guess I'm misremembering.
Okay, I played. Go back and play it. Spin. Go educate yourself.
Yeah.
I played one of them, and I had the comics for both of them. So
wasn't aware that there were comics for it.
Yeah, they had little comic books for both of the games. I believe the comics. I don't remember if they were like the full game, or if there was just kind of like an offshoot of them, or if it just like told parts of the story. I don't remember.
All right, so who won E3?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't think of an intro, so.
Thane votes Ninty. Spin says nothing, so Ninty wins!
I mean, I think if anybody won E3, it was whoever got the money from our wallets.
I think
those are the winners.
I'll say this. Microsoft wins in the cinematography department.
Yes, they did a fantastic job with cinematography. Yep. Spin knows what I'm getting at.
It was so weird. Oh, yeah. One of their presentations was literally just 5 minutes of self-congratulatory bullshit.
Yep.
Well, didn't they have one where like the camera went behind stage to reveal another screen that we then watched the screen from the camera that was behind stage?
What?
If they did, that's even worse.
That is much worse.
I thought there was one of them where they had some weird, crazy.
So much worse than the 5-minute video of a whole bunch of not actors saying the Xbox is all about games and gaming and gamers, and we're working hard to make it for gamers and gaming.
They did the same thing for the Xbox One when that was released. Just the only difference was that video had an image of what the Xbox One was going to look like.
It's stupid.
So
but it was around the Gears of War.
Clear losers of the E3 presentations this year. Nintendo's probably the winners because I can't even remember who the last ones were. Bethesda didn't even show us much.
Bethesda was there. They had a conference.
Oh wait, no, I remember what it was. It was Fallout 76 is now getting NPCs and a Battle Royale mode.
Yep.
It's like, well, too little, too late, guys. Battle Royale craze is essentially dead.
And a free week. Free week of...
You say too little, too late, but look at No Man's Sky and what it's done with its too little, too late.
But it's not been too little.
The difference between what Bethesda's doing and what No Man's Sky has done is No Man's Sky crowded out all the haters from their minds and listened to the fans and then built on what the fans said they liked and what they'd like to see improved. Whereas Bethesda saw, oh shit, we did bad. What do people like? Oh, they want NPCs, and everyone's into that battle royale shit now, so let's do that too.
Bingo.
See, but
Spot
I
on.
think there would be a very strong difference of how people view Fallout 76 if it wasn't made by Bethesda.
Well,
If any other company had made it and produced the exact same thing, then there would be an entirely different view on what the game is.
If an indie company made something like that and it wasn't called Fallout, then sure, yeah, it's a huge technological, impressive world filled with lore that could be fascinating for the people who want to explore it. But the thing about Fallout is it's always got diverse NPCs and environments and dynamic story paths and just all kinds of ways that you can get through and find things. And you put someone into the universe that's established in that way, and then it's just this big, barren, empty everything. And the only people you have to talk to are other people playing the game who may may not roleplay in it the way you want to.
Likely
what I saw Bethesda doing there was taking a jab at stuff like how Nintendo does sometimes, where it basically says, okay, this is what we've got. Let's try something entirely new and see what happens with it, and then grow on and expand from there, and maybe never do anything with it again later.
I mean, that is what they're doing with Fallout 76. You are exactly right. They're trying something new. I still maintain that Fallout 76 is a Fallout 4 mod that cost $60 at launch.
You know what, Spin, with that point you brought up, I will concede that in concept, it may have been a good idea. In concept, it sounds fascinating, and it could be fun to play something like that. In execution, it was a big steaming pile of poo.
Possibly. I mean, they always said from the beginning it was going to be different. They never said it was going to be your typical Fallout game. And I think one of the issues that happened was a combination of the developers not giving enough information or making sure to push the point enough that this is not going to be the Fallout experience that you want, combined with a lot of fans just seeing Fallout and thinking, I know what I'm getting my hands on, and not looking into more of what the game is.
Yeah, they didn't,
so I'm not saying it's like
build to the brand, so that was shooting themselves in the foot.
Was it though? Because
a little bit. I mean, it might have been with a BB gun, but they still shot themselves in the foot.
With a BB gun.
I can't remember if they said this in the conference itself or if it was just in an interview I watched later. But I remember Todd Howard saying that if he could go back and redo Fallout 76's launch, he would have opened up the beta to Fallout 76 to every single player that currently owned 4.
Yes.
And I think if he had done that, it would have been fantastic.
That probably would have
changed everything.
Yeah. So again, I say execution.
Yes.
Piss poor.
Yes.
Yes, I will agree with you on that. But I will also say that it is partially falls into the hands of the consumers as well, because you can't just buy something and then because it's not what you expected without doing any research on it ahead of time, just get frustrated and mad.
Yeah.
And I see what you're doing there, Toll. You're trying to tell me to pass the out. And then Thane brings the clock in.
I was trying to be subtle and tactful.
I know, and I'm going to call you out on it every time you go and do it.
All right, fine. I need to give the computer to someone else, Spin. Be considerate.
All right, well, I don't think there's any... I don't think there's anything else really super amazing to talk about. I mean, like, that hasn't been talked about already. Like, everybody's excited for Borderlands 3. We don't need to talk about that. Dying Light 2 looks amazing. That's going to be pretty sweet. There's so many games. I'm still iffy on the Star Wars Fallen Order.
I personally
I'm very iffy on it.
Love the amount of content Nintendo has given us this E3.
Yeah. Nintendo. Well, I mean, comparing it to previous E3s, there's no way Nintendo could have given us less.
Yeah, but still.
Not that they didn't give us a... Usually it was all just their stuff, but now they have the ability for all of these fantastic indie things, so it was just like... So...
All in all, pretty good E3.
I would say so. It
felt
wasn't my
short.
favorite E3, but I don't have that jovial, everything is awesome kind of attitude that I had when I first started watching E3 many years ago. Because now I have a job and bills, and I can't just look at E3 and go, look at all the things I get to spend money on.
Look at
now
all
it's,
the shinies.
Yeah. Now it's, oh God, I have to buy so much of this, and I can't afford any of it.
Sales.
So.
Or
Yes.
find a cult game with a niche following and do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I sent the message out. We'll see if we get anything. You guys very well might just be seeing the screenshots that took are awesome as well. But it would be pretty sweet to
Get some
have other
community
people
content.
jump into. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you may, if it's No Man's Sky, it's probably Mr. Toll. If it's No Man's Sky, I mean, it could be No Man's Sky from Deadpan as well. You never know. So
We'll let you know in the description. Spin will let you know in the description.
I'll just
make a note
if
to
it's-
actually tell people.
I always listen back through, and most of the stuff I think the last podcast I just didn't put the links in the description because I didn't have time. So that's okay. Don't worry about it.
Regardless, it will be what it turns out to be.
Yeah, if it's Deadpan's image, I'll just like throw his name on like the screenshot or something like that.
Top right corner, image by Deadpan, blah, blah, blah.
There you go.
Yeah. So I think that pretty much, I don't know if there's really anything else that we really want to talk about. Well, isn't like Final Fantasy VIII one of like the most reviled Final Fantasy games, even though it's not really reviled? But it's finally getting a remake?
It's not the worst, and it's not getting a remake. It's getting ported to the Switch.
Oh, it's just getting ported?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad.
It's not a bad game. I beat it. It's weird, but it's not bad.
Oh, well, I'm excited for it.
It's not the best. It's not.
It's going to be better than Final Fantasy VII, right, Zio?
Mm.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, wow, Zio, I wasn't expecting that. All right, guys, that's all the time we have for the podcast. If you enjoyed it, then thanks, and we enjoy you too.
Good night, everyone.
That's the outro.
Sure
Goodbye.
it is. We all know you're going to keep on talking and cut it off at a really weird moment. Like probably in the
I
middle
have
of a
no
word.